Hello, Innaxe. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Я хорошо. Спасибо. I can do a bit of Russian, it's fine. I'm pretty good, man. I'm just chilling at the office alone.
There's a lot of things going on in League of Legends right now, with usually, like, mostly nothing going on. The quarantine and all that jazz. So,
Yeah.
what's your team up to during the break?
Well, I think a lot of people are still playing a lot of solo queue. That's kind of the replacement. We're gonna be practicing as usual starting tomorrow, just online, everyone from their rooms. And I don't know, I don't think I have info that I can like publicly say about what's gonna happen with LEC.
Okay.
So, I think it should still be running though. Like, I doubt they will cancel it, but I don't really have the info right now. And basically just playing solo queue, and I think it's a bit more chill than usual. Like, there's people playing like Warzone, the new COD. Like, it's some battle royale
Okay.
game. They're like, playing some different games here and there just to, I guess, take their minds off what's going on in the world in a sense.
I mean, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get actually to the things that I wanted to discuss, and there's actually quite a few of them. Some of them from your
Okay.
past, some of them from your present. So let's start with the
Okay.
very beginning, when I first met you in the LCL. So you played for Unicorns of Love in our league in the CIS region. Can you describe quickly how was that experience playing in Unicorns of Love, working with people like Sheepy and the famous Russian players such as Nomans, Boss, and Anasik, and all the others?
When I first joined the UOL, it was kind of the best, not the best thing that can happen, but I was under contract with Excel, and the situation would have been quite bad if I stayed. Like, I would be sharing academy spot with Jessica and stuff like this. Like, there would be 380 carries for 2 positions. It would be like a big disaster if I stayed there personally. So I'm pretty lucky that Sheepy saw interest in me, and I showed like good enough performance so I could go on this team to go Worlds. And I know that every player wants to go Worlds, and it's a dream, right? And obviously, I had the same goal, but play-ins is still Worlds, but making it to groups is the real thing. So that was kind of the goal, and I don't mind if it's Russia, Brazil, whatever, as long as I like the team and I think that I will improve there. Obviously, the level of competition is, as you know, not as good as ERL or like anywhere close to LEC, which is kind of normal. But at least there were like 2 or 3 good teams that were actually pretty decent compared to rest of Europe, like out of LEC. Like Vega Squadron was decent, and Gambit was actually not bad either. So I think there are really bad teams, but there was also decent teams, and I think this is kind of what it was like saving grace competitively, because if it was just us and like I think it's kind of saving grace because there's decent teams. If it was just, let's say, unicorns and 7 or 8 or whatever, like really really bad teams, then it would be kind of bad to play. Like, you would just be playing for the world spot. For the players, I think Ananas, Nomans, and Boss are really talented for sure. I think they have the kind of mindset that you would want from like a Russian player to bring the scene up a bit, to show up at Worlds. And as you saw, we almost did it. And obviously Edward was there as well. We had a lot of synergy issues with him, but at the same time, he wasn't weak link in a sense that the whole team like exploded. We still got to Worlds, even though the finals were close. And yeah, I don't know, like Sheepy was a pretty good coach actually. Like, his reviews were long, but he actually taught me a lot. Like a lot. He's actually really smart about the game, and he does it like he gives a sense of, how do you say it? You get like a train of thought, like step by step in a sense of how to think about the game and when you make decisions, which is pretty nice. And I also tried to help him out with reviews to make it more structured, because it was a bit all over the place. But I think it was overall pretty good for me. I enjoyed my time with the team. Like, it was really fun. I saw a bit of Moscow, not as much as I wanted to, because obviously I was just trying to play, 7 days a week.
Yeah,
And
try harding, of course.
yeah, you don't really get that much time to go out, and plus I don't really have like Boss wouldn't go out to the bar with me, for example, and no man's like I thought no man's would be the one to be with me. Like for example, there was one off day, like maybe once a month I want to go out and like feel the culture of Moscow in a sense, like see how Russian people are, like how do they have fun, you know, because I kind of get a really good feeling of a culture or a city when I go out at night. You kind of get like a different vibe from every city, you know, like Seoul and London and Berlin and everything. Like you kind of feel how the city is and how the people are and how the culture is from like going out. But I didn't really get that because I don't want to go alone. I could, but I didn't want to, you know. So it's a lot different when you have like friends to go out with. So I don't know. Moscow as a city was pretty nice. The people were nice. The fans were also quite supportive. I know I had a rough start, like first few weeks. I wasn't playing too well, but I already said the reasons for that. Like I had, like everyone was too loud for me. Like I just didn't do the logistics in a sense correctly for me to be comfortable on stage. And once I was, then I was playing well. So I don't know. Overall, I don't think I can. There's not like many negatives from me being in Moscow. I think it was overall a really good experience for me.
Okay, so let's go to your world's experience, because this is not something that a lot of people experience.
Yep.
That experience, they do not experience that anyway. There are many words in English language. So how was the big stage? How was playing against like CG and MMM, and what did you lack as a team in order to like make it through the playing stage?
First of all, the experience was, I mean, I wouldn't say, I think at the start, I didn't really care about who was there and like worlds and stuff. I really just wanted to win and get to groups. So we were just trying to, you know, scrim as many good teams as possible, trying to learn them, like get the most out of our practice. And once the big boys came in, like the last days when SKT and RNG and stuff, they flew in and came to the hotel, then when you see them in person, then you're like, whoa, this is Worlds, you know. That's kind of when you realize like you're in some like crazy place where not many people get to be. And even though you're not at groups, you know, just being in the same building as them and kind of playing in the same tournament in a sense as them is pretty surreal, and it gives you a lot of motivation and I guess gratitude. Like you're kind of happy to be there. So yeah, I don't know, like Worlds was pretty insane. The hotel was nice. We got the scrim teams like G2, Team Liquid. We almost scrimmed down one once, but we were playing on that day. It was the best of 5 days, so it was kind of unlucky. But I think what we lacked is, I think mechanically, like we were there, but I felt like there was just too many, like we just couldn't agree or get synergy. Like we always had issues in the 2v2 or 3v3 bot side. We tried to play for it. We tried to play through bot in scrims for a week in Russia, and it just didn't work. And I don't know, like I don't want to be pointing fingers and saying, oh, Edward was the problem, or oh, I was the problem, or Ananas. Like it was just this combination of players didn't work, you know.
You weren't on the same page.
Yeah, like our top side was on the same page, and I was kind of trying to as well, but it just wasn't working. Like me, Edward, and Jungle, it just wasn't working. There's many reasons for it. I don't want to go into details. So, like, just because of synergy issues, and like how to play the game in a sense, I think that's the reason we went 2-3 against Splice instead of 3-2, for example.
What about MMM?
I mean, I don't know. I actually don't know what happened on those games. Honestly, I don't know why we struggled so hard against them the first 2 times and then just completely stomped them. I think when I think about it, I think most of the games kind of exploded through bot lane again. Like we played, I think there was a mirror matchup. We played in scrims that they won, and then we played the other side of the matchup, and then they won it again. And like I don't know. I think, like I said, the synergy issues kind of shows up whenever we're losing. It shows up, you know. So that's why it was mainly like playing through topside, and also the fact that boss only plays these really hard carry champs doesn't really help, because he could only play Mordekaiser and GP, which were the weak side champs. If you wanted to play through bot, you would have to draft these. But I think he was way better on, like, he was really good on them, but he was way better on playing Camille, Aatrox, you know, like strong champions to play through. And this is fine, and because of these the synergy issues, I just decided to play whatever's best for the team, and I just played 1v2 champs like Heimerdinger, Veigar, whatever works, you know. Because if you can't win 2v2s, or if you can't win go even in like losing matchup, or win your winning matchup, then it's just better to have a champion that kind of cheats lane, you know. You don't get to lane. You just perma push and they can't really punish you. Which is what Heimerdinger did for us. So luckily it gave us a lot of wins. It was kind of a band-aid. But I think once people started banning Heimer, you could see that there was a lot of problems with the team, and how we used bot lane like to fit the team, and how we played with bot lane, and how we played as 2v2 as well. And I also think I was playing quite bad on that team compared to what I was playing on, for example, in XL, or how I'm playing right now, obviously. And I think mainly it comes from like, I think it's for every AD carry and every support. If you don't have the synergy, your kind of personal play also deteriorates, because like bot lane is so like, it's a two-man thing, you know. It's not one person, and when this two-man thing doesn't work, even if you try to play solo, you don't play as well. It's just how it is. So I think that's kind of the reason why we couldn't get through groups.
Okay. Do you think that the synergy that you, I mean, I obviously understand what you're talking about, but how do you work on something like this synergy? Like, do you need a lot of time for that, or it's a coaching issue, or it's just like two people just don't work with each other and something that you cannot create?
I think it's a mindset issue in a sense. Like, I think me and Edward had different ideas on what was like how the game should be played, or what was to be done to improve. Like, I think we played maybe 100 or even 200 duo games. I think we had like 100 games even before the split started, but the thing was that our duo queue wasn't productive. I think I don't think Edward takes solo queue in the same practice way that I take it. He finds it as only to practice mechanics, in a sense, you know, playing solo queue to play it, and he would get quite frustrated when things went wrong, and I don't like it when my duo tilts, for example, in solo queue. So I also kind of got I also felt like I was wasting time by duoing, but at the same time I wanted us to be really good, because I knew that we could, you know, be a good bot lane and not put our team behind. So I just tried to duo and tried to fix it. We talked about it, you know, we had meetings, like a couple of meetings actually, about like typing, you know, pinging, or, you know, the mindset of solo queue, so we can try and get as much of useful practice time together as we can. And, you know, we would have the meeting, and then it would be good for like a day or two, and then it would kind of go back to the same. And there was also ways like we didn't really agree on the same way to play lanes. Like, there was lanes where I thought we should do this, and he thought, no, we should play it like this, we should push here, you know. It's like difference of opinion. And it was really hard to like be on the same page. Like, I think Edward doesn't like to compromise, in a sense. He would like, it's like I think he's, because he's used to have like telling his AD carries what to do. This is what he told me, that normally in his old teams he would always be like managing the wave and everything, like what the AD carry should do himself. So because I'm so vocal, maybe because of this, that it was like really hard for him to be on the same page with me, in a sense.
So it was basically my way or the highway, kinda.
Not in that bad. Not like, oh, if you don't do this, we're not like it's
Yeah,
shit.
sure.
It's like, it's just really hard for him to think of the game the way I'm thinking. That's how I felt.
Okay, so that was Unicorns of Love. After that, you moved to the academy team of Schalke 04, right?
Yeah.
All right, and after that, you made a huge jump into the LEC, which is basically why we got to watch you a lot with some of my viewers. We were watching LEC. We were supporting you, by the way, especially in the huge game that you had against G2. So let's talk about the Schalke 04, the academy team first. How was it? And then tell me about your feeling when you had to move to the biggest league in Europe.
When I first joined the academy, I knew that my team would be top, like bare minimum. Even if everything exploded in academy, we would be top 4 just from players. Because I know that Sleeping is really good mechanically. I know that Lurox and Certus were the best mid jungle and still are the best mid jungle. Well, Lurox is an LEC, but they would be the best mid jungle in Germany for sure. And I knew that me and Nukes would be able to match or even play better than the bot lanes, like any bot lane in Prime League, if we had if we worked together, meshed well together, like synergy wise. And this is kind of what happened. Me and Nukes get along really well. Like, we're really good friends, and it's really he's really open to talking about stuff. He's a bit shy in a sense, but he's really open to talking and discussing things, and he can see, he can kind of think the way I'm thinking and see whether my way is better or what we should do. He kind of thinks about the game the way I do, where you think about the lane itself or the decisions you made rather than you should do this because it's better or I should do this. It's what should we do next time? The general thought, why is this bad? So then when you know the general mindset of how these lanes should be played or how this game should be played, then you can apply it to any champion or any lane in a sense. So when it's like this, then it's really easy for me to work with him, and obviously being friends outside of the game helps a lot as well. So I just came.
So you were feeling comfortable, right, in that team?
Yeah. The team, the atmosphere was really good. Everyone was getting along. The only bad thing was that Certus is still in school, so he was at home in Cologne and we were in Berlin. So that was the only downside. We were only 4 people here, and that was a start. And then the promotions thing started happening. Lurox was splitting. He was already playing one game of scrims. From the start of the split, he was playing one game of LEC scrims every day, and Gideus would play 4. And then they decided to put Lurox in, and then he would be playing 4 games, and then Gideus would be playing 1. And then once, because me and Lurox, we played on Keith as well, we're also pretty close, and I know him a long time, and we're both really vocal in the game. So we kind of had a rhythm of how to play the game and how we were shot calling and giving information. So that's kind of why, that was the main reason our academy team was so good, because Nukes speaks he speaks enough, but he doesn't shot call in a sense. He's he can give information, but me and Lurox were kind of the ones making decisions at the start. And Sleeping was also just giving information. So because we lost Lurox and Gideus was not the same type of shot caller as him, then the team dynamic changes, it's a different team now. Though you just jungle is quite a big role to change. And then once the swap happened, we have to get used to a new jungler. People have to step up, Gideus has to speak more, Sleeping has to speak more, Certus, everyone has to speak more because we're lacking the main voice. And then until people get to the point where the shot calling is good enough, then the games will be a bit iffy, which is kind of what happened with us on stage. And then after Lurox got swapped 2 weeks later, I think, or 1 week, I don't know when I joined, then I got swapped. Then the academy team kind of exploded, because they removed 2 of their players, and I was doing double time. The first week and a half or 2 weeks, I was playing LEC scrims, and then I would instantly play academy scrims. So I'll be playing 8 games a day of scrims, plus solo queue, which was fine for me. It wasn't tiring or anything, but for the academy team, it was really rough because they had to, like, they on the days that we would scrim the most with the academy team, I was playing LEC. So they had less scrim time, and they have a new jungler that they need to get used to, so they don't have enough games to get used to him, and it's kind of like demotivating in a sense for the academy team. But people stepped up, and then they started playing with Neon. So I stopped playing double scrims, and there was 2 weeks I think where Neon was scrimming with the academy team, and I was scrimming with the main team, but I would play official games because of contract ruling, whatever, like because of legal reasons, because he has to be signed so he could play, and it took a while. So I played 2 weeks where academy team was scrimming with Neon, so I think people can understand why we didn't do as well as before, and I don't think they should be giving Gideus as much shit as they should, because I think he's playing well, but I don't know, like, everyone wants to have a scapegoat, and Gideus lost in LEC, now he's losing Prime League, he's ruining everything, when he's actually really good. So I think the main reason was that just the whole logistics of it kind of ruined the academy team. But now they're doing good again, so it's all fixed. Neon's playing with them. Now they're playing every scrim, together. The team is doing pretty well. I think they found like the kind of rhythm that we had at the start. So even though they had a rough patch, I think the three, like Sleeping, Certus, and Nukes, I think they improved a lot from this like shitty scenario in a sense.
Okay, so basically the main team was drowning, and to save the main team, I mean, the organization kind of drowned the academy, right?
That's kind of how it works with academy teams, yeah. Every academy team did this. Misfits Academy was really, really good. They won E-Masters. They got subbed in. And then the actual academy team, the LEC players weren't playing. There was just some random French players playing. So the Misfits Academy team just exploded, Same with Rogue Academy. They had to play with like random players, I think, like Polish. They had to just put Polish players randomly. Same with XL Academy, like when I was there, it kind of exploded because of the main team. That's just how academy works, So it's kind of a trade-off. If you're a player in academy, you trade the chance to play LEC with the chance for the LEC team to fuck you over, in a sense. That's kind of how it is. It's just how it is. Okay. But it makes sense, Like for me personally, I was enjoying life. I was playing 4 or 5 official games a week. I was scrimming double. I was playing LEC. Everything is good for me because I'm the one getting the benefit out of it. But for the rest of the academy team, it's not good. But the LEC team benefits. So I think it makes sense because obviously LEC is more important than ERL. So yeah, that's just how it is.
I mean, you still get, some players still get to play in the LEC. They get to make a name for themselves, which is probably more important than going to EU Masters. I'm not trying to trash talk EU Masters. It's a very good competition.
It's kind of true, yeah.
But it's just, I mean, there are levels, and LEC is just on another level, and you can go to Worlds after that. Anyway, so tell me about your emotions when you actually got to the main team, especially considering the fact that you were kind of saving a drowning boat, Like this ship was sinking for like 100%.
Yeah.
That was your first win with you, right? The G2 win. Yes, it was your first win. So you actually came to the team which was 0-6 as far as I remember.
Yeah. 0-6, and then we lost to Rogue. And then the first game I played, I lost to Rogue. And then we won against G2.
Okay, so how did it feel to join the team that is going like 0-6 in the main league?
I mean, for me personally, I was happy, right? But I'm not really like an emotional person, so I was only focused on doing whatever is best for the team to get better and to win. So until the split is over or until we actually win the game, I'm kind of like putting feelings aside because emotions are kind of useless in my opinion. If you can if you know how to deal with like bad or positive emotions, then I think your performance would not be so inconsistent. I think like emotions are a big reason of why so many players are inconsistent. So that's why I try to be as stoic as possible in a sense. I think, I know people. The main argument against this is if you don't have emotions, then, or if you don't have positive or negative, and you try and suppress or ignore them, then how do you keep motivated? I guess. And well, for me, there's a difference between being emotional about what people say about you and being emotional about your performance or your improvement. So let's say I play bad one week, or I do the same mistakes I did for the whole week and I don't improve on them, then emotions here are useful, because if you get annoyed or if you get frustrated that you're not fixing a problem that you have and you're not improving, then this can actually help you improve. But being mad at losing or being overly happy that you won, regardless of how you played or what happened, I think is bad. So there kind of has to be a reason for the emotion, and the reason should also be towards your goal. If my goal is to be the best AD carry in Europe, for example, or to go Worlds, are these emotions helping me? You know, like they have to have a reason. They have to be useful emotions in a sense. So it's the same with like reading. Like let's say a fan, like a lot of fans saying, "Oh my God, Innaxe is the best player in the world," for example. Let's say they say that, and then I get really happy and I'm like really like content. I'm like, oh, I'm already the best player in the world, you know. And then some people just let go and they don't try hard enough just because some people said that they're good. And it's the same otherwise. Like there's some players that I guess get affected really negatively from reading hate comments. Like if they say, "Oh my God, Innaxe entered this game, he's so bad, he ruined the whole game," and then it kind of gets to you, you know. So I think this is why you should always like kind of think about whether your emotions are helping you or not, and try to control them in a sense.
So it doesn't get to you, or you are able to like manage it?
I think it's I feed it, but I feed it in a sense that I understand. Let's say I lose, and in the moment it's kind of like disappointing, but instead of thinking about the loss, I think about what I want to do next, what I should do next. Like it's always like thinking forward and not like the past, in a sense.
Okay.
That's kind of how I think. Maybe it makes no sense because I haven't really talked or thought about this, but I don't know. I just go with whatever is working for me. So
yeah. So to sum up, it's not like you don't have an emotions, like any. You are not a machine. You have them,
yeah.
But you try to feed those emotions that actually help you to get somewhere, not pointless rage about losing a game, not sadness or anything, something that motivates you to get better. So, and this is a very important point, I think, and this is something that people, especially in solo queue, especially those who don't play professionally, have to like work on this kind of mindset where you are on a long journey and you have to overcome a lot of obstacles, and like a little fail is just on the path to success, and you shouldn't let it stop you, right? And the same goes for like negative experience, critique, or all that jazz.
The atmosphere was absolutely disastrous, I think, which is understandable because I'm an academy guy. We don't really talk much with the main team. We're in the same office, but we don't interact much, so I don't really know what happened. But I know that there's 0-6, and there's been a lot of arguments and a lot of, well, not a lot, but sometimes shouting, which is normal in a team that's losing. And I'm the guy coming in from an academy team that's 7-0, you know. I'm just happy, you know, and then everyone else is just depressed. You know, everyone's just so sad, and they're like, it's like you can feel the sadness, you know, like the depression in a sense. So my idea was, or my goal at the start was to make sure that everyone resets, in a sense that the split starts here, and not 0-6. We start 0-0. So first, this is kind of what I tried to do. I tried to like be friends with everyone, make sure that there's not the negative emotions aren't staying from like whatever's happened before, and just focus on actually getting playoffs, even though it's really hard. And it worked pretty well, I think. Especially Dreams, I think he was really affected by the whole situation the most. So now, like after the first week or so, everyone was already like, the mood was like a lot better, and like I said in my old interviews, it was no longer everyone for themselves versus everyone else. It was the team versus playoffs, you know, or the problems. So that was kind of the goal, and the mood slowly began to fix, and it got better and better. And you know, we won against G2, it got better, and then we were winning a lot of scrims. You know, we had like a 16 or 17 game win streak, or 12 game, I don't know. There was some crazy win streak, even though we were scrimming like SK, Vitality. We had like even though we were bottom tier teams, we still were like a lot ahead of them. So I'm pretty happy with how the atmosphere and how everyone kind of reset their mentality.
Okay, so how is the mentality right now? I mean, you are not making playoffs. Sorry to repeat the information.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, doesn't matter anymore.
But you're still working together, and everything is fine, right?
I think it's for sure not as good as before. I think after the Mad Lions game, when we were actually fully out of playoffs, people, like, I can understand why people are so down, but for me, obviously it kind of sucks that I didn't get to do the miracle run, and we were so close to doing it, and main reasons being that we always like give our Nexus for Elder. So
sorry,
it's kind of sad. I mean, it's funny, but it's kind of sad at the same time that I didn't get this miracle run that everyone wanted, you know. But at the same time, I got a lot better, and that's kind of the most important thing for me. And the team got a lot better, which is also the most important thing for the team. So both my goals were kind of met. Obviously, not as good as they could be, but you can't have everything that you want at the time you want. So right now, after we lost playoffs, people were quite down. They wanted a bit of a break. So I think people didn't try hard as much in solo queue and stuff, but in scrims and reviews and everything, I don't really feel the difference. It's not as like, you can feel that there's no pressure anymore, you know. The only pressure is for you to, like, for the enemy team to not lose to you, if you think about it.
Yeah,
like,
because
you're just gatekeeping. You're
exactly. You are the spoiler. You are the spoiler.
So that's kind of it. So it was pretty good, even though, like, I mean, personally, it was fine. You know, we were still doing scrims as per usual. The mood wasn't that bad. Like, I think the first day back, actually, the only time it was actually bad was the day after we lost the Mad Lions that we scrimmed. So not Sunday, the Monday we scrimmed was big disaster. But this is really normal. Like, you have one day of scrims after a really tough week that is just super bad scrims. Like, everyone's like, nothing goes well, and you don't really have a reason for it. Even though people don't feel, they're not saying, "Oh, we lost, so I'm so mad." It's just after a week like that, something happens that you need like a reset. So I guess having that loss, having that bad day of scrims resets it. And then I think the days after were kind of same as usual, you know. We had normal games, we had you know, even scrims, you know. We were playing against like a bit of top like, I guess, top 5 scrims in a sense, top 5-4. We were playing some good scrims, you know, contesting some good teams, so it was better. It was fixed. Like, the scrim level was back to normal again.
Is it okay to ask who do you usually scrim, or it's confidential?
I think we're still in split, so
yeah, okay.
I think it's confidential.
Yeah. Sure. So your plan for the rest of the split is just basically do your best and try to get as many wins as possible, right?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, just show show that we are a playoffs team, and the only reason we're not in playoffs is because we started the split with a 6-loss handicap.
Okay, makes sense.
That's kind of the main.
Do you think? Can you say that you are proud of your performance in LEC? Because I assume that. How long have you been on professional stage? I mean, for like.
I don't know, one year, 1.5, 2. Because I played. Let me check Leaguepedia.
Okay, Leaguepedia sure knows better.
I don't know. Yeah. I played. I'm gonna start because I don't count UK. I started in January 2018. Okay. So, 2.5, I guess. 2.5, 3 years.
I mean, let's say 2, just to be even.
Yeah, 2 years, I guess.
Okay, so after 2 years of competitive, I assume that LEC was your goal, right?
Goal,
yeah. So can you say that you are happy about your performance in LEC? Your personal performance?
I think personally I had some good games, but I also had a few bad ones. And like, for example, the Fnatic game was a pretty rough one because I kind of exploded the game solo, which I'm pretty disappointed about, but it's kind of expected because these kind of stupid mistakes, once you actually do them and you lose a game because of them on stage, you will never do again in a sense. So I wouldn't say I'm proud, but I guess I'm glad that I can play LEC and not be a complete deadweight. So I won't be proud until I, like, let's say if I win LEC and I played well and I look at my games and I see that I'm doing everything that I want to do, how I want to do it, then I can say I'm proud. But until I reach this point where I'm playing the game as I want to, with like no like dumb or like not like many dumb mistakes, then I can say that I'm proud. But right now, I just like the level that I want to be at is way above that at which I am now. So.
Okay. So you're a perfectionist, in a way.
No, not perfectionist. I don't want to be proud about I don't want to be proud of, let's say, top 10 LEC.
Okay.
I want to be proud of top 2, top 1, you know. There's no, like, it's like something, obviously it's something to be happy about, but I don't really dwell on it. I just be like, oh, I'm playing LEC and I'm not hinting. That's pretty good, you know.
It's still pretty good, you know.
That's kind of the mindset in a sense, but it's not like, I don't see it in the sense that I'm bad. I see it in the sense that I've seen and I know how well I can play. I just need to do it consistently. So
okay.
The levels there, it just has to happen every time. That's all.
Well, hopefully LEC continues soon enough. Maybe in online, or we'll go back to the stage just without yours. Hopefully. I miss the LEC very much, and hopefully you'll be able to show up in the last games. Couple of questions from chat here.
Okay.
So first one is about game balance. Oof, I love it. So what do you think about Aphelios and Senna in terms of like high rank solo queue?
Senna is permabanned because she's broken. And Aphelios is really strong, but I don't think he's OP. He's only OP in some situations, but I think if you're a really good Aphelios, you can always get the best weapons or the best scenario to carry the game. So I think this champ is really strong, but I wouldn't say he's OP.
Okay, so another question is, would you stay in Unicorns of Love if like it was completely up to you?
I think if I would choose between Unicorns and Schalke, I would always go Schalke.
Okay.
Not like because of this, what happened cannot happen if I was in LCL.
I mean, fair enough. You get the chance to play in LAC, right? And you got what you want. I mean, still, it kind of sucks that you had to start with 0-6, not from like a fresh start, but still.
Yeah.
it has some advantages. Let's put it this way, because you didn't have as much pressure, and because you were like the saving grace. And as far as I thought, heard at least, that you are still very vocal even in the main team, and this is something that surprises me. For example, because ADC is not the position to be as vocal normally. Maybe it's a prejudice. Maybe
it's kind of a prejudice. I think it's like old school thought process that AD carry should focus on right clicking and everyone else should speak, and the support should do the speaking. But I think if you don't say the things that has to be said, then you're making a mistake. So
okay, that is true. I feel like every role should be vocal, at least for their part, let's say, because a team is like a one being, like an organism, like a well-oiled clock. Every gear has to do its job. It's not. We are no longer in season 3 when we have like one shot caller who just tells everyone what to do and everybody does it. All right. So I have I have a funny request. Can you smile, because you've been very stoic the entire interview?
I can't smile, but I don't know. I just like speaking normally, I guess.
Okay.
And I also have braces.
Oh.
So my smile is not the best. But
for now.
I'm not insecure about it. I actually don't smile that much. Like when I'm with friends, I laugh a lot, but I don't really smile just for the sake of it, in a sense.
Okay. A little advice. I think you should smile more often, because it actually brightens your day, not only your face.
Yeah, I guess, but it's fine. I'm not mad at the world or anything. I'm so happy if I don't smile.
Another question, once again from chat, is: do your parents support you? Do they watch your games or support you in any other way?
Yeah. At the start, they didn't. I think before I joined Keith, Excel, I think. Before I joined the first time I joined Excel was in 2017, I think. And that's when I got first salary. It was €100 or something a month. And I was in college, I think, still finishing college, and my parents slowly, I explained to them how League worked and what could happen if I got good and how it works, and they kind of understood. But before I actually joined the team and got money, that's kind of the saving grace when it comes to parents. If you get paid, then it's fine.
Yeah. Parents.
Before this happened, they didn't know it was a real job, They don't know what's going on. And my dad was really, 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 really mad all the time because I was spending so much time playing the game, and he was there's a quote. This we always joke about it with my brother, because my dad always used to say, "I'm gonna fucking break your computer." He was really mad, but he never did it. He's the best dad ever, but he would get really mad. And then one time he said, "Why should I break it? It's mine." And then that's kind of the running joke in the family. But that was the level. They weren't supporting at all at the start. And then I told them, "Yo, this is what I want to do. I don't want to go uni. I got really good grades. Look, I'm going to one of the best unis in UK, but I want to give this a shot." So I took 1 year gap. It's called a gap year.
Mm-hmm.
You just do whatever you want before you go uni. And I went to Spain and Turkey, and I was getting pretty good. And I thought, hey, if I want to do something with my life, now is the time. So I just canceled uni, because I can go back to uni anytime, but I can only do this league thing once, So I didn't want to have regrets in my life, that I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I should have done this. So I just gave it a shot, and what I said was, if it works, awesome. I would be really happy. If it doesn't, then I spent 2 or 3 years chasing a dream. It didn't work. I go back to normal life. It's just how it is. So now, after I started joining good teams and got their currency, money, I don't care. As long as I'm improving and getting on better teams, then it's whatever. But as soon as this happened, then because my dad was a volleyball coach, he started watching the game more and more and trying to understand. And now he's watching every game that I play, and he's messaging me and calling me after to tell me what to do better. He's like, when you see Baron come up, just kill 2 and then take the Baron, stuff like this. He would always be like trying to help, and he's really emotional about games, like he's really into it, They send me videos sometime when like my dad and brother are just like crouching in front of the TV, like waiting for me to win and stuff. Like it's really nice that they support me so much now, and I can understand their side of the story, why they didn't want me to spend so much time, because at the end of the day, my family moved to London like with pretty much nothing for me to have like to study and be whatever, have a good career and go to a good uni, because they didn't go uni, but I end up playing video games for a living, so I can understand, but at the same time,
Sure.
they're really happy. Like if I'm happy, they're happy, so I love my parents. They're really supportive now, so, and I can see, like, I don't blame them for not supporting me before. Like I'm not mad at them, so
Yeah, and it's another generation, and esports is still quite young, so it's not something that you can just say, hey, that's what I'm gonna do. You see this thing, I'm gonna play games and get paid for that. So you live in Britain right now, right? I mean, not right now. Right now you're on the boot camp. Yeah.
I live in London.
Yeah. Okay. Another question: what do you think our region, the CIS, the LCL, needs to do to become a major region? Can I answer that? There is nothing we can do. But okay, your opinion.
I think you don't pick. I don't think there's a step-by-step way. I think the only way you become a major region is if you have a big player base where you get a lot of talented people. So, for example, if Europe didn't have so many good players, they would be a minor region.
Yeah.
It's all to do with players. If you have talented players, like a lot of them, then your region will thrive for sure. But if there isn't, then there's no reason to work on your region in a sense,
Have you ever thought of changing your role? And was the ADC the first role that you ever started with? And if you would change a role, where would you go?
I think when I started League, I was playing any champ that I thought was cool. I played Twisted Fate. At the start, I bought Vladimir. Vladimir was the first champ I bought. I thought he was really cool. I played him. Then I think season 2 or 3, when I started actually playing the game a lot more, I was playing Yasuo, Tryndamere, Vayne, Graves, Corki, like kind of like montage champions in a sense, exception. But it was like always high mechanics champions, like Vayne, Yasuo, I don't know what else there was, like all these champs. And I was playing mid, I think. Mid AD carry. It was mainly mid, mainly Yasuo, like I was kind of one trick, and then I started playing AD carry more, Vayne Lucian, and then I just stuck to AD carry in a sense.
Is it your favorite role?
Yeah, and if I would change role, I would probably change to mid, because that's the only role I can... Well, I can play top 2, but I think mid lane is my second best role, so...
Okay. Were you happy with the changes of the 10th season? With the new dragons and with some added champions like Senna, Aphelios, Set?
I think Aphelios and Senna... Well, at least Aphelios is a really, really fun champ, and I like that they're making AD carries more complex, so I can be like the best at them. Like there were so many people that didn't know what the champ was doing, but after like 20 minutes I already knew like all the combos and everything. So I enjoy these like really complex invoker type champions in the invoker from Dota is like the most complex thing ever, and I like these types of champions, so that's why I guess I used to play like Yasuo and Vayne and Lucian, like really high skill cap champs. So the more high skill cap champs Riot makes, the happier I am in a sense. And I think the dragon changes were really cool. I like them a lot. But I think the alclos are kind of useless. They're only there for the juke thing. Like every now and then you get to juke someone. I think that's kind of the main reason. You don't really use it for anything. So they're maybe useful like 1 out of 20 games, but otherwise they're just chilling there in the corners doing nothing. So overall, I like Season 10, the game itself. I don't know about solo queue or whatever, I don't really want to go into that, but the game itself I like a lot, so.
Okay, sure. What do you think about the impact of the ADCs? Do you think it's fine right now? Is it an impactful role?
I think ADC is fine right now, yeah. I think it's a decent role. I don't have complaints about it. Only complaints is I wish they buffed some more ADs, so it's not only Aphelios and MF. And Senna, of course, so.
True. Okay, so another fun question. So, 3 choices. You have to name a character that you want buffed, that you want nerfed, and that you want deleted from the game.
Buff, Vayne, nerf, nerf Senna, and remove Kayn.
Kayn? Why Kayn? Why?
Assassin Kayn. What do you mean why?
Because Kayn is literally non-existent in the game.
What? Nah, dude, Kayn is broken. Assassin
Really?
Kayn is the worst. Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst thing to play against as an AD carry by far. It's just disgusting, honestly.
So in a game where we have stuff like Zoe, Rengar, you want to delete the blue Kayn.
Yes.
That I have to translate it. I'm sorry. This is probably the weirdest answer that I've ever gotten. You didn't even name the champion. You named like half of the champion.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another question. Maybe you should delete the entire jungle from the game. I mean, you shouldn't. Jungle is a good role.
Jungle's good. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think we have any more questions, but I do want you to give an advice. I know you play a lot of solo queue, and I know that you're pretty good at it.
I guess.
Probably. I mean, the best compliment, and I really mean it, that I can say is that you're consistent, which is, in terms of solo queue, it's, in my opinion, the best thing to be. Like, I don't like flashy players, I like consistent players. Whenever you have someone on your team that you see always has a good KDA, never ints, never trolls, always tries to go for the win, this is like the best thing ever. So what advice can you give? Yeah, don't be modest. You know it.
No,
Come on.
I mean, there's some games I really run it down, but most of the times I'm consistent, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I say consistent, it's not 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody has a bad game. Everybody has a bad game. So, what advice can you give to solo queue players that want to improve? Like, let's say you have to give a very concise and precise advice, like very short, but like the most important thing ever.
I don't know, actually, that's hard. I can't give it for every role, but for AD carry, I think it's really easy. You focus on farming. You focus on not dying, farming, and doing as much damage as you can, and not dying. So those 4 things in a sense. So as long as you don't die, you farm well, and you do damage, then you should be fine. And learning how to do those in the best way possible takes a lot of time. So that's kind of like the basics of, like, that's the theory of AD carry. That's what we have to think about.
Do you think that there are champions in the game right now that are underappreciated in your role?
I guess in AD carry role, I guess like Ziggs and Syndra are kind of under the radar, even though pretty strong, I think. That's kind of the 2 ones that off the top of my head. I think the rest are kind of like whatever, you know, because MF and Aphelios are so strong.
I mean, I feel like Syndra is not really under the radar, considering she's like one of the most picked champions in the world. But
it's mainly in mid lane, that's why. Not many people play it bot.
True. But I feel like it's just because of MF and Aphelios. If you just nerf them down a bit, maybe people will start playing them. Because, as you said about the worlds with Unicorns of Love, you remember these are champions that kind of skip the laning phase. You're just very strong, and you don't need to like fight for power. You're just there.
You just 1v2, yeah. You just
Yeah.
1v2 the lane, and then your support can do whatever he wants.
Which is another thing to do, but with the dragons, with the heralds, with like playing through bot a lot, I feel like there's just mostly no need. But some teams do that, and good teams do that.
It
So
just depends on the situation, you know. If it's the best case, then why not? So yeah.
another question for you, my friend, is what do you think? This is a very tricky question, let's say. What do you think about Nico as an ADC? Do you think she has any potential?
I mean, she was good before when she was broken, but
She was good when she was broken, yes. Yes.
When Rageblade got nerfed and her W got nerfed and other AD carries that are kind of more useful than her, after even like 1.5 item got buffed, like and like Aphelios and Senna and MF are in the game, I think she's not that good on bot lane. But I saw that Unicorns played it. I think they lost with it. I'm not sure.
Yes, they did.
I think personally, I used to play Nico when it was OP. I really liked playing it. It was really fun, and I was pretty good at it. But I think after the nerf, unless they revert, like they need to either buff her W a lot or they need to revert Rageblade for her to be useful again. I think she's quite useless.
Revert the Rageblade, right? Please. As a Master Yi player, I need it.
Yes, I can play Vayne Kai'Sa every game again. Nice. It was really fun. I like that meta. Yeah.
Sure. Do you watch LCL still, or not at all?
Not really.
I mean, you shouldn't have time, right?
I don't really have time. I just only check whether like the standings, I guess, to see how Unicorns is doing. That's all.
You still kind of rooting for that team, right?
Of course, yeah. I want them to go Worlds.
Oh, nice. Would you like to like see them in Worlds, like fight against them in Worlds or something like that?
I mean, we're not making Worlds, mate. But
Yeah.
if I would be in Worlds and playing versus them, then
Wait, why are you saying you're not making Worlds?
Oh, I'm retarded. I'm sorry. It's somewhere fit. I forgot. I thought you meant MSI. Yeah. Then if we would play against them, it would be pretty fun. Yeah. I wouldn't mind, like, it's like, or if I'm at Worlds and they're there as well to catch up and meet again, it's pretty nice, I think.
I mean, I guess I can ask you one last time. What do you think about Fiora? Because this is a champion that I personally hate, and
It's useless. It's just useless, man.
Yeah,
It's
completely.
just a rage splitter, another Tryndamere, same thing.
Exactly. And split pushers right now, especially in higher elo, if they don't have any impact in team fights, just don't make any sense, right? I mean, you can play like Camille, at least she can like roam or something if she gets ahead, but
Yeah, I don't know. She's kind of useless.
okay. So people from chat wish you good luck. I hope once again that LEC comes back again. We'll be supporting you.
Thanks.
And another important thing is that you should tell guys, where do you stream? Because guys, Innaxe has a stream. Not enough people are watching him playing the game. He has actually very informative streams that I like to watch every now and again. Usually don't write anything in chat because I'm not a chatty kind of guy.
When I stream with Mike, yeah, I talk like decent amount about the game. But normally, when it's in season, I only stream like with music, no mic, no cam, so I can like focus on the game. But these days I've been streaming a lot because of LEC, and I stream with Mike. So
what's your Twitch ID?
Is it Innaxe or I think it's Twitch TV Innaxe. There's no lol in it. Yeah, just Twitch TV Innaxe. And I stream like 4 p.m. ish, I guess, or maybe late night, like 7-8 p.m. Berlin time. So.
Okay, so guys, you heard the man. Twitch TV /Innaxe. Find it, follow it, get on the live broadcast, and learn from one of the best ADCs in Europe. I mean, I can say that he plays it. You play in LEC. You are one of the best.
Okay, I can.
That's just a fact. Stop getting modest on me. All right, stop it. Stop it.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Okay.
Anyway, thank you very much for interview.
Спасибо за поддержку, ребята, и доброй ночи. It's good, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I think you all understand what he said. Anyway, thanks again, and we'll catch up, I think, once again, maybe later, if you have free time, because there are still some things that I'm doing on this channel, for example, reviewing games, and if you would like to join me for the review, I would be very glad. For example, think about it.
Depends on how much time I have.
Sure.
We will see.
Sure.
All right.
See you, man.
Thank you for doing this. Пока.
Пока.